Justice with Judge Mablean will be life because in everything we do, it involves the law.
Where's your witness?
In the evidence.
That's hearsay.
It's notarized.
I still say it's hearsay.
She's fair.
You gotta help these young men learn how to do this the right way.
Yes, Your Honor.
She's firm.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
No, I don't need to say anything else.
She's honest.
I'm not your child and I'm not your friend. That's the order of the court. Goodbye.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean.
All rise. Both parties, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Yes.
we do.
Court is now in session with the Honorable Judge Mablean presiding.
Thank you, Will. You may be seated. Good day, all. This is the matter of Elena Ramirez versus James Carter. And Miss Ramirez, you are suing Mr. Carter for $2,000, claiming that he damaged your garden.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Let me hear from you.
My neighbor moved in last March. I have lived in my home 15 years. During those years, I created an incredible garden. In August of this year, I had noticed he was doing something near my arugula plants, near the fence. I went out and I asked, what's going on? And he said he was treating with a herbicide my arugula plants that were growing over the fence. I was taken aback, to say the least. However, I didn't ask any questions, and I thought, well, maybe we can work this out. I went back in the house. 2 weeks later, my garden was destroyed.
What was in your garden other than the arugula plant?
We have dill, we have sage, it's all herbs. And
Did you
what's
say dill?
important, go ahead.
Did you say dill?
Dill,
Okay. Arugula plant, sage,
Yes.
anything else?
numerous herbs, plus plants that work as pesticides. There's a certain atmosphere that I've created over the years for my garden. And to be able to come to you today, I would like to resolve what happened.
So how did we get to your damages totaling $2,000? How do you support that?
Well, when pesticides enter the ecosystem, you have to start over and plan how you can resolve the damage. I have itemized many of my necessities to restore my garden to the way it was.
Okay, so do we have a picture of what your garden looked like
Yes.
before?
Yes, this is
Before
before.
Mr. Carter used something to destroy it in your statement? Do we have something
Yeah.
that shows me what the garden looked like before?
Yeah.
Okay. So oh my goodness, how green and beautiful.
Yeah,
That's your entire lawn on the other side of this?
yes,
What's that, about 2,000 or 3,000 square feet?
yeah.
And this is the after.
Yes, ma'am. And it took 2 weeks to destroy what I'd worked for all these years.
This is the fence line. Go back to the green, please. And that's the defendant's yard to the left?
That's my yard on the left, Your Honor.
Okay. So that's your pretty green flat grass.
Yes.
Got you. And is that where you're talking about it was hanging over into your yard?
Yes, although I don't think you quite see the amount that was on my side.
Well,
of
do
the
you have
yard,
something to show
Your
me so
Honor.
I can see it?
I'm sorry, I do not.
You didn't take any pictures at all before you cut it, before you put the pesticide?
I did not, Your Honor.
So how are you going to establish that it was messing up your yard?
Well, I didn't know it would be a lawsuit at the time. I'm not a gardener, so I didn't No, I didn't spray anything on her lawn.
So what did you do?
I saw that her plants were encroaching on my lawn. That I
How
like
much
to
were they encroaching?
keep manicured. Probably half a foot, I would say.
Through the fence.
Through and under the fence, yes, Your Honor.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
So you didn't know what you were killing. Isn't there a difference in your mind between weed and plants and herbs? Is there?
Certainly on some level, I understand, but not on a practical level.
You're an educated man, are you not?
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Elena Ramirez, who is suing James Carter for property damage.
And if I'm looking correctly, or if I'm seeing correctly, there's like a little dirt path on your yard before you get to the fence? Or does your grass line go all the way up to the fence?
Pretty much all the way to the
Well,
fence.
pretty much all the way is not all the way. So my question is, all the way or not all the way?
I guess all the way.
Okay. You guess. Your yard, and you guess.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking it through, and yes, it's all the way. Your
Okay.
Honor.
So you observed that her plant was encroaching into your yard.
Yes, and not just a leaf or two, like full plants blooming on my lawn, growing on my lawn. And I thought, okay, something else to deal with. We just gone through a move and are still unpacking boxes.
How long have you been living there?
6 months.
Okay.
And thought better, nip this in the bud before it becomes a problem on.
Did you know
my
what the
side.
plant was?
I did
Or
not.
did it matter?
Again, I'm not a gardener.
So it didn't matter to you what it was?
It didn't. As far as
That's
I
a
was,
yes or no answer.
as far as I was aware, it was a weed.
It didn't matter to you what the plant was?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I mean, it's fine for you not to care, but you have to answer my question.
Yes.
All right, go on.
And I saw it as another problem I had to deal with, add to my to-do list. And so I got a weed killer called glyphosate or glyphosate. Oh, I can't quite remember.
Glyphosate.
Glyphosate, and sprayed it again just on my side of the lawn where the plants were becoming a problem. And I did not expect it to have that dramatic of a reaction.
Did you keep saying I did not expect it. Had you ever used this item before?
No.
Had you ever seen this type of plant before?
No.
Did you know what it was or wasn't?
I knew it was a plant in my yard.
So on what did you base your expectation of what the result would be? When you say I did not expect it to do that, what did you expect it to do?
Pardon me. I went to the store and asked for a weed killer, and they recommended that one, and so that's the one I used.
So you used it as a weed killer, but this is not weed. So you didn't know what you were killing. Isn't there a difference in your mind between weed and plants and herbs? Is there?
Certainly on some level, I understand, but not on a practical level.
You're an educated man, are you not?
Relatively.
You know the difference between a weed. Weed is something growing just wild and out there, right? That's usually referred to as weed. And then people plant flowers, and you call that a garden, usually. And then they plant herbs or vegetables, as some people may say, as opposed to herbs. You're aware of that. People grow vegetables in their yard sometimes?
Yes, Your Honor. Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't bother to try to find out what this object was that was coming between your fence before you went to get weed killer?
Well, I'm not a gardener.
I know that. That's why I'm saying you didn't bother to try to find out.
And I sort of thought that weeds grew in gardens, so you sprayed weed killer in gardens and they didn't ruin gardens.
Had you ever seen your neighbor?
We've seen each other in passing and exchanged pleasantries.
So you knew you had an older woman living next to you, and she had been living there a while,
Yes.
and she had something growing in her yard, and you were new to the community, did not know what was growing, and you didn't bother to go over to ask her what was growing and if she could cut the weed down or cut the grass down or whatever?
No, Your Honor.
Why not?
I've been quite busy with the move. There were a number of things. We had to child-proof our house. We had to remodel the kitchen. We put up security cameras around the house.
Well, that took 1 minute to go ask her that. How did you get to the level of damages? How did you get to $2,000? That's $2,000, because you don't deny that you used the weed killer.
No, Your Honor. But
And
again,
you don't deny that you didn't talk to her about it in advance.
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
But again, I was not spraying her yard. This was a measured dosage.
It was coming into your yard
my side.
from her yard. So to keep it from coming into your yard, you had to spray it on her yard. Otherwise, it was going to keep coming into your yard.
But really, I did not cross the fence. I was sprayed on my side of the fence
That's a
line.
fence. And when you use spray and you're spraying it against the fence, come on. But it was so easy for you to just go, ma'am, may I talk to you about? It's just like, I own a house. My neighbor's tree from her house was hanging over into my yard, affecting my jacuzzi. I simply called her and said, could you have the tree cut down? Because it's growing a little too high and I can't use the jacuzzi because the leaves are going to be in there soon. Simple question, simple statement, simple request. You've lived in a community before, have you not?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is not the first house you've owned or the first time you've lived in a house, right?
First time in a house. We moved from the city, so we wanted more
You were
room.
in an apartment,
Yes.
so you didn't see plants and things growing.
No, and wanted more room for our kids.
That ain't stopping your kid.
No, I meant that's why we moved. Just
I know, but I mean, look at all that yard you had. That's enough for your kids and cows and cattle and everything else.
Coming up,
You may have been able to share some of that good arugula that she was growing, had you been courteous enough to just knock on her door and ask her. And you didn't bother to ask.
Yes, you're correct, Your Honor.
I know I am.
you're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Elena Ramirez, who is suing James Carter for property damage.
Again, I just want a plain lawn. I don't.
And you know what? You're entitled to that. And you can have a plain lawn. But I think in this particular case, no, I don't think. In my opinion, you damaged her yard and you did it without cause. Because the law is that when your neighbors are, quote, encroaching on your property, that you go to them first and you make a request to remove the encroachment. And then if they don't remove the encroachment at their expense, then you have the right to remove it at your expense. But you can't just do it because you see something growing over in your yard. And to tell you the truth, if you had taken the time to figure out what it was, you probably would have said, oh, great, because now she's growing all that good arugula that costs more money than butter lettuce, or iceberg lettuce, and that's more healthy for you and your children and your wife. I didn't say, you didn't say you had a wife. You said my children. Okay, wife and children. You may have been able to share some of that good arugula that she was growing, had you been courteous enough to just knock on her door and ask her. And you didn't bother to ask.
Yes, you're correct, Your Honor.
I know I am. Let me figure out how this damages. How did you get to $2,000 in damages?
Okay, I have a list in my exhibits.
Let me see the list.
Sure.
Give it to the bailiff, let him bring it to me.
Just take this and these herbs.
Okay, all right, so I'm looking at your list. You have $180 it costs to replace the seeds that you had.
Right.
The arugula seed, the dill seeds, the basil seeds,
Right.
sage, and mint.
If I could,
hold on, not yet.
Okay.
Don't say if I could and then start to do it. I have to give you an answer.
Coming up,
She has the right to go where she wants to go?
again, I'm just the $2,000 seems like a lot.
Well,
of money.
I haven't gotten there yet.
you're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Elena Ramirez, who is suing James Carter for property damage.
And now, what do you have to say about this?
I've got some estimates for seeds as well.
Okay.
For sage and mint, for seeds for one, for a pack of each was, yes please, and that as well. It was $1 per pack of seeds, so.
That's about what she's saying. 10 packs of 10, wild arugula, 10. That's Per pack, she said. So she needs 10 packs. It's $10 a pack. You say arugula is $7 a pack. So you go to a different seed store. You go to a different hardware store. She has the right to go where she wants to go.
Oh, again, I'm just, the $2,000 seems like a lot of money.
I haven't gotten there yet. You consulted with the gardener about the herbs garden and the contamination.
Right.
A $450 consultation fee
Right.
at Heritage Horticultural Plant.
Right.
Unreasonable.
Okay.
Oh my. Landscape fabric, measuring tape,
Right.
shovel. He didn't damage the shovel. He damaged the compost. The clay pots.
Yes.
All of these seeds were in pots. They weren't in the ground.
Well, you have to start the seeds in pots to get
So
them.
he damaged all of that. That one area was all of those plants.
Yes.
Now, $180 worth of seed,
Right.
but all of that wasn't down there at one time. So,
Right. There's,
but how did you get to $2,000?
Okay, for instance, gardening gloves, watering can, clay pots.
Well, wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah.
He didn't destroy the gardening gloves.
If I use the old ones, the pesticide would be on there.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
Okay, the gardening gloves is reasonable. So I'm going to give you a pair of gloves. That's 2 pairs even. That's $30. I'm going to give you all the seeds. I don't think it's unreasonable to pay $180 to start over with all of those seeds. I'm going to deny the labor costs, the consultation costs, the potting mix, $15, $180 for the seeds, $15 for the potting mix, 2 pair of gardening gloves, $30, and 2 clay pots. 2 clay pots were $40. So based upon everything that I've granted, I'm going to order the defendant to pay the plaintiff $265 so that she may start her garden all over again. And now that you know, perhaps instead of cutting it down, you all can have an agreement that when it comes, the part that comes over into your yard, you can have. What about that?
Fabulous.
Sounds good, Your Honor.
All right. So ordered. Judgment of the court, $265 for the plaintiff. The plaintiff shall allow the defendant to pull any of the plants that come into his yard for his family's personal use. So ordered.
All rise.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $265.
Plants and fertilizer and tools can be replaced, but not a friendship with your neighbors.
I agree. I mean,
agree.
we just moved in and hope to be happy here for a long time.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.